Welcome into my Pink Barn studio. I am Danny Garola, Pink Barn Stamper, coming to you from Tucson, Arizona. So we are going to be making a fantastic set of 3 cards using a beautiful, beautiful stamp set. It's so my jam. I love the woodsy Christmas card, kind of that cozy Christmas kind of feel to it. So that's always fun. So I'm so glad you guys decided to come in here and join me and spend your evening with me learning how to create these 3 fantastic cards. All right, let's make sure everything is running smoothly over here and that we are actually live and I'm not just talking to myself, because that can be a thing. I mean, I do like to talk, don't get me wrong, but not necessarily to myself. But I will tell you guys that when I do talk to myself, it is expert, experienced knowledge. I never steer myself wrong. Yeah, right. Don't we only wish, right? Okay, it looks like everything is good over in Facebook as well. Looks like we can see my desk, and that's always a fantastic thing. Just try to get this a little bit straighter here. It looks like it's pretty wonky, but I think it'll be okay. All right, okay. So we have had some pretty nice weather around here. We still are doors open, windows open all day long. It's been nice to not have to turn the AC on and, you know, get that fresh air that we all need. So that's been fantastic. My husband had last week off. He went and took a week's vacation because he knows the holidays are upon us, and with the holidays and him being a butcher, they get crazy busy. Like, there are special orders for turkey sizes. People want their prime ribs wrapped and tied and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, he knows he's going to be extremely busy, and it was kind of nice to take a little break before all that happens. So we spent some time together and we worked on a lot of things out here in the barn, getting some things organized. He got our big TV hung up out here. He has his desk directly across from me now. He is a TikToker guy, and he goes on there and he builds Legos because he's the Lego guy. And so he has been building his Legos on his live videos and really enjoying doing that. And when he kind of has other time off, he likes to go and he plays card games, trading card games at some of our local businesses around. Like, I think it was on Thursday, he actually had an event that he hosted over at one of the game stores here. So he has a good time doing all of that. But it was nice for us to have the time off together. We actually worked on our friend's bench that we are making for them. Because the weather has been, you know, reasonable, we can be outside. We actually got our hot tub, speaking of weather, we got our hot tub set up. So that is wonderful. I've been in it every day. The kids have been out in it. My son fell the other day. It was like his second day at work, and he fell and bruised his whole, like, all his side right down here is completely black and blue and swollen. And so he went in, oh no, that had to have been 2 days ago. So yesterday he went into work and they told him to go home. They were like, you cannot work with your side looking like that, because I mean, he could not bend over, he could not do anything. But he knew, being a new hire, that it would not look good at all if he didn't show up. So he showed up and they were just like, yeah, you can't work like that, buddy. So he came home and he was happy about that, because he definitely needed to lay down, put the ice pack on it, and just call it a day. So that's what he went and did. Hello, Kimberly. Oh, in the 50s there. See, I would be chattering if it was 50 degrees. So my husband said the other day, so what was it? He went back to work on Sunday, yesterday. So it had to have been Sunday morning. He gets up at around 3:30 and then he has to leave by like 4:30ish to get to work by 5. So, he said it was like in the 50s. And I was watching the news and they said that we've had a couple of days where like in the early morning that it's duped down into the 50s. And I'm like, well, no wonder why I can sleep so well, because it's so nice and cool. I love sleeping with the windows open when it's nice and chilly, and then you just bundle all up in your nice snuggly little blankets, and that's my jam. So it's been wonderful having that. So yeah, poor guy, right? Yeah, he really did a number on himself. It was pretty rough when I saw it, and at first I was like, he just fell. I don't want to say he's my sensitive guy, but he's a little bit on the sensitive side. And well, I guess I wouldn't say sensitive. Maybe that's the wrong verb. He is kind of a drama queen. He really is. I mean, and he gets it honest. He gets it from his mom. That's okay. I'll own it. But I thought, oh God, he probably just bumped himself and whatever. But no, he came home and I was literally like thinking, oh my God, we might need to go to the hospital, because I've never seen, like, I'm thinking, oh my God, he might have broke ribs. He might have like damaged things inside of his body because of how bad the bruising was. But like I told him, I go, you at least, again, he gets this from me. Well, I guess he gets it from me and his dad, but we have a little bit of chumbawamba on us. We've got some girth. I'll call it that. And because if we have girth, when you fall, I mean, there's a little bit of cushion. So you don't really break bones as easily. I guess that's the best way to put it. So he's kind of bouncing back. It's now turning to, like when the bruise starts going through its phases and it starts turning that green yellow color. I mean, it's still pretty black and blue, but it's starting to turn to the greens and the yellows. So that's when you know that it's kind of like in the healing process. So, he's at least healing. He's not today he went to work and he didn't even hesitate. It wasn't like, oh God, I'm in so much pain, I can't work. And actually his manager called him last night because he was actually supposed to go to work at 8:00 this morning. And that's what he was on the schedule, so he could learn how to do the opening shift. And she had called him last night, or actually text him, whatever, and told him that she was going to try to find somebody to come in and do the morning shift, and that he could come in and do the evening or afternoon, whatever, shift, so he could work in the front end and run the register, so he doesn't have to be in the back picking things up. And he was like, oh my gosh, she doesn't even know me and I'm brand new. I'm so, I'm happy that she has sympathy and that she is, allowing me to kind of take a break right now. And I was like, well, yeah, when you see that bruise, like, it's no joke. I mean, I definitely am gonna have to take pictures of it. I won't post it on my like business page on Facebook because that might be a little too much. But on my personal page, I'll actually post a couple of pictures just so if you're on my personal page, you can see what I'm talking about, because it's like really, really crazy. So just, yeah, absolutely great leader. That's kind of what I said. I told him, I go, well, you know what? Because he said at first when he first started working, he thought that she didn't like him. And I go, well, and like, since his dad works at the store, his dad was like, she's kind of old school, and he, like his dad told him, she's used to a lot of these younger, and I don't want to just say younger, but a lot of people kind of flaking out, and they don't want to deal with it. So they either don't show up or they show up late, or who knows. So my husband was explaining to him, he was like, you have to understand, in her position, she gets a lot of people who just kind of flake off on her. So she's thinking you, a big, tough, kind of burly kid, are saying that you fell, and she's thinking, oh, well, suck it up, buttercup. I mean, kind of, us older people, we kind of have a different mentality than the kids nowadays. So that's what we were trying to explain to him, that she's not being like mean to you and she's not liking you, but she is definitely letting you know that, you know, come in, let me see what this bruise is all about. And then when she saw it, she was like, oh my goodness, like that's no joke. So, you know, she had sympathy then. And then she knew exactly that he wasn't messing with her. So that's that. So he's at work today and he's getting to run the register, and he loves doing that anyways. That's what he said. He goes, if I could run that register all day long, I love interacting with the customers. Now, see, myself, I would rather be in the back and I would be running things, because just sometimes people cannot be kind, and I don't always, not to say that I don't deal with it like right, because I've been in the position, but things are not like back in the day when I used to be a running the registers and stuff when I worked up in Oregon. It was different. Like, even us, we were different as having to work. Like, we couldn't have piercings. We couldn't have tattoos that were visible. We couldn't have like crazy hair colors. It had to be natural tones. So things have definitely changed. And that's what I told my husband. I go, I don't know if I could actually physically go back to retail work and be in that kind of a public setting. I just don't know if I could do it. And because I haven't done it in so long, and I hear the stories that these guys tell me and the way people treat them, and I'm just like, I don't know if I could do that. Like, it would probably physically make me ill. Just because I'm like, there's no reason to treat people like that. Like, there really isn't. Okay, we all have bad days. I get it. And you have to give people grace, because you don't know what everybody's circumstances are. But you always have to pull yourself through, put on that happy face, and be kind. You know, that's just kind of how I see it, but I'm a different kind of person, I guess. So anyways, on with that. We are here to craft. I'm glad you guys are all having fantastic weather. I am glad to be back with you crafting. I hope you guys got to see my paper pumpkin video that I did yesterday. I know that's very odd. Normally I go live only during the week, and normally I don't go live on the fly on a weekend. But I really wanted to let me grab it and show you guys if you did miss it. I really wanted to create with my paper pumpkin. I decided that instead of making more alternative cards, because you guys can go on any platform and see all the fabulous alternatives that people make with cards. But as I was searching, I didn't see too many scrapbook layouts. So I created a scrapbook layout using my leftovers. I did make one of each of the 3 cards that were intended, but then let me show you guys this. Isn't this fun? Oh, I love it. And when I was making it, I thought, oh my goodness, I definitely want to put my family photos in there from Thanksgiving this year. So I've already kind of got it in my mind that I'm going to have the family kind of get together, and we can have one big family photo to go in the center. And then I might do like a couple of like the kids all together, or like my parents with the kids, put that in the next one. I don't know. But I just thought it was too cute and I loved it. And so that's what I'm going to start doing with my kits. Now the next kit that I will be doing the scrapbook layout for is for the October. This is the Cozy Christmas. Now I will be going live on November 2nd, which is a Sunday. Like I said, I know it's kind of different for me to be going live on a weekend, but I definitely want to share this, and I'm trying to get caught up. So then, you know, I can start doing it after the next kit comes in, because this one actually just showed up. So I'm kind of like trying to figure out the layout that I want to do with this. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to open it up, because I did open it yesterday, because that was a paper pumpkin video, because I know some of you have not got your kits yet and I don't want to spoil it for anybody. So, all right, let's get you guys flipped around. I do want to tell you guys that if you're watching over on Facebook, I highly recommend you guys coming over to YouTube. Even if you don't have a YouTube account, you can come over and watch me. I will tell you that it's a little bit more of a steady stream. I know Facebook can kind of do some wonky things, and I'll see it every now and then. I'll look up there and I'll see that it's saying that it's poor connection. The only reason why you would really want to sign in and be in the YouTube, like if you're signed into YouTube, if you have an account, is so you can comment and then I can see your guys' comments over here. Because the way it is I can't see both platforms. I have to keep switching between the two. But since my my main platform that I choose to go through is YouTube, because of the fact that it is a streaming platform. YouTube is not. YouTube is a social media. And so their video streaming is not quite as strong as YouTube are. So I highly recommend, if you do not have a YouTube account, to create one so you can pop on here and you can see our comments and see all of our friends come in here, and everybody has like conversations back and forth. Like I'll look up and I'll look at the comments, and people who come in here weekly to join us are kind of saying hi to each other. They've known each other back and forth through the group and see each other weekly. It's just kind of a fun little community that we have over here. But if you're not a fan of YouTube, you don't know how to use YouTube, and it's just not your niche, that's great. Keep watching here on Facebook. I just want to let you guys know that the streaming is not quite as performance steady as it is over on YouTube. So there's that. All right, you guys. So we have got our best kit ever going on right now. So if you guys have not seen this and you're kind of running low on some of your supplies and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I need to, you know, resupply my cardstock. I need to resupply my glues. I need to get some stamp sets that I've seen that I just haven't quite gotten around to purchasing yet. I highly recommend you doing this starter kit. It's a win-win. Honest to God, there is nothing that is negative about this. So it starts at $35. And the way I see it is, typically if you were to buy a bundle, which is a stamp set and a die, you're going to spend over $35. Just, I mean, for the most part. Sometimes, yes, we do have some kits that are right around that $32. But you're going to get to pick $125 worth of product. So now you're going to still pay just that $35. But now you get to pick $125 worth of product. So now you can add that paper on there. You can add some of your glues on there. You can add some of the new color stamp pads that you've been wanting to get. This is a great way, and it's going to come to your house. You're going to get catalogs. You're going to get a free paper pumpkin in there. So if you're kind of on the fence about having a paper pumpkin, this is a great way to get one of those in your starter kit and see what paper pumpkin is all about. Just know, going forward from there, you are going to start getting a discount on all of your future orders. So it's, honest to God, it's a total win-win. And now I know some people get kind of scared about the fact that they think they have to have a business. Absolutely not. Probably 95% of all demonstrators are hobbyists. They don't run a business with it. They simply use their demonstratorship as a discount. And there's no judgment for that. But you also get the benefits of being a part of a team, that we share things with each other, and we have challenges. So if you guys want to know more about this, you can always reach out to me to pinkbarnstamper@gmail.com. But I'm telling you guys that this is the best offer that we've ever had. Now, if you want to go a little bit further than just the $35, we do have option number 2, and that's where you're going to get to pick $189 worth of product and only spend $99. But I think the $35 is doable for everybody. Like, if you're already purchasing product, this is the way to go, because you're doubling your product income anyways for your amount. So there's that. And then you get to become a part of the Pink Barn Beauties. And that is my team. We are the Pink Barn Beauties. We have had some fantastic people sign up this month. It has been wonderful seeing all the people come into the group. So just to let you guys know that don't feel like, oh God, I'm going to get tied into this pyramid scheme and this and this and this. It's not like that. You can go on to any of the platforms, type in Stampin' Up, and you're going to see a plethora of Stampin' Up demonstrators. And maybe they're just sharing what they're making. A lot of them are not doing businesses, but you're still going to see them. And I really don't see, like, maybe in a couple of our like leaders groups, there might be a little bit of negativity just because of changes that are happening behind the scenes. But honestly, you're going to be so happy with the experience that you definitely can't go wrong with it. Okay, so there's that. We also just got the announcement that we are having a 3-day sale, free shipping on your orders of $75 or more. So if you plan on placing an order of $75 or more, or if you have a kind of a $50 order, I highly recommend you adding on that extra like $20, $25 to get yourself up to that $75, because you're honestly going to pay that in shipping anyways. So you might as well get more bang for your buck. So again, this starts October 22nd, which is Wednesday, and it runs through Friday the 24th. So just to let you guys know, it's a great time to grab some of those kits that we have right now for maybe some Christmas giving. Our paper pumpkin that we are in the subscription for the month of November, this is called the Wrapped in Cheer. As you can see, there's a super cute little box here with a lot of your tags. Just by looking at the little sneak peek of this stamp set, I'm in love. Look at this wreath right here. Isn't that so cool? Then you've got, it almost looks like, I mean, it's only half of it, but there's a little bow with, I'm assuming that's like a little bouquet. And then you've got some really wonderful seasonal sentiments there. So this is going to be a great kit. We do have our add-on for this kit. Now this add-on is going to go for the October, November, and December. That's what it is for the quarterly kit add-on. This is called the Abundant Joy Dies. So as you can see, some really, really fantastic dies here to go with this. Now, if you look at this, it's really not seasonal, besides the fact that it says joy. But you know what? You can use joy for anything. Like, it doesn't have to be for Christmas cards. So just know that this is a fantastic little add-on. You can find this in my store, shopdannygarola.com. Now, the Wrapped in Cheer does say that it is a craft festive goodie boxes, perfect for holding gift cards or small treats. It's going to make 8 projects, 4 each of 2 tag designs with 8 identical coordinating boxes, foldable box bases and pre-cut paper pieces, linen thread and red dot embellishments. And then it says that delicate greenery pieces with double-sided printing add a sophisticated touch. So that's just kind of the little sneak peek of what they tell us about this kit. So now you can just go straight into my store, shopdannygarola.com, and you can find, when you can go up to the little search engine, you can hit Paper Pumpkin, and it'll go in there, and it'll even show you the add-ons in there as well. Mystery stamping. We did mystery stamping live last Wednesday, which was a fantastic little pocket card. I've seen a couple of you guys post your cards already, so that's great that you've already got yours made. Please have them posted by Wednesday the 22nd. That's when I will do the drawing. I do it in the evening, so it gives you all day Wednesday to get your card created as well. You can watch the replay over on my Pink Barn Stamper group. If you're not a part of that, you're really going to want to be in there. Go over there, answer the couple of questions, and join that group. This is a local class. This is our kit together. This is the Calm and Bright kit. Now, I do know these are out of stock in our store. So this is a great way if you want to grab this kit. I have some in stock. So just to let you guys know, this is going to be at the Fry's here on Valencia in the conference room. A lot of the women there at my husband's work wanted to do some creating and crafting together. So I decided to go ahead and have my classes there, and they've so graciously offered the conference room for us. So just know that this is available for you guys. It's going to come with the Calm and Bright, the 9 cards. You're going to actually get the full kit. So you're going to get that stamp set. You're going to get all the things that you can take home and then still use those for future products. 12 Days of Christmas Crafting. Now, this is going to start November 25th and go through December 6th. Now, this is going to be a 12-day crafting class that I'm going to be doing. Now, I am going to be using or opening. I know you guys have probably already seen this because I know a lot of people have already gotten this, but I am going to be opening up each day for the 12 days, my crafting, the 12 days of crafting event calendar, so I can share with you guys what's inside of it. Just in case maybe you haven't seen yet, there are tons of demonstrators that are already previewing this thing. So if you want to go see it, you can, or you can just wait and I will be showing it. So it's a surprise for me as well as it's going to be for you, because I have very, very much been making sure that I'm not watching anybody who has been showing that. If I see a video pop up, I will just scroll right by it because I don't want to know yet. I want it to be a surprise. So I'm waiting. That's my Christmas present to me. Let me just show you guys just a little sneak peek of one of the projects that we are going to be making on one of our days. So look at this little paper angel. Isn't this the cutest little thing ever? So I'm going to be creating this on one of the days. So that's just a little sneak peek so you kind of get an idea of what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing 3D projects, as you see. We're also going to be doing little gift packaging, little treat, like, not to say boxes, but little treat packaging, so you can, you know, have little things just around in case somebody unexpectedly kind of pops by and you want to see, or they, you know, you want to give them something, like maybe your son's girlfriend comes with him and you weren't expecting that. Now you have just a little bit of something to give to her. I'm also going to be showing you guys a great little gift box for, I am a total fan of the Bath and Body Works foaming shampoo, hand wash. I know a ton of people are as well because they smell amazing. So those are great to have on hand. And they always run those sales too, where they're like 5 for $25 or something like that. God, I feel like I have like a cold or something coming on. It's really starting to bug me. But just so you guys can kind of like get the gist of what that class is going to be about. Then we have the Make the Seasons Bright with the 12 Days of Crafting event calendar. That's the one that I just showed you guys. So these are still available. You can get these in my online store, and you can wait and open yours up the same time that I do. Then we have our Traditions of Christmas. This is the Stampin' Up. This is our first craft class that Stampin' Up is going to be doing. So this coordinates with the Traditions of Christmas Sweet Collection. And so they're going to be doing a live class. So when you buy the class, which it's the Traditions of Christmas craft class, which is code number 170073. You're going to get a link in your email to this class so you can watch it live with them. Now, that is going to take place on October 23rd. So that is this Thursday at 2 p.m. Now, just know that it will be recorded so you can watch that at a later time in case you're like at work or you've got things going on, or you're going to be at my kit together class. Then you can always come back and you can watch this. So if you already have the Sweet Collection, just know that this is going to give you some great like alternatives and some ideas for some more cards. Okay, lots of news today. Sorry, you guys, but hey, you know what? Now you can't say that you don't know what's going on. I've told you. So if you want to know about all those things that I just told you, to stay kind of in the loop, if you go to shopdannygarola.com, it's going to actually take you to my Stampin' Up! Webpage. When you're there, if you scroll down just past the heading, you're going to see where it has a calendar, and then it has a whole events going on there. All of my events, all of my classes, everything that I do is on that calendar, so you can actually see it. I have started making a calendar to hand out to my customers that are local to me when I hand out my customer packs. I actually am putting a calendar in with that pack, so then they can actually have a physical paper of my schedule of what events I have going on. But I actually took that and I posted the November one, or the October one. I know we're kind of towards the end of October, but I posted it anyways. It is on Pink Barn Stamper group, and it is on the Facebook Pink Barn Stamper with Danny Garola. It's on my business page as well. And I will post those monthly. Now that I've started doing those, I actually found a good little template for me to create in my like a Canva type website that I use. Canva, I've tried using it. I don't know why my brain just doesn't work, because it's probably because I've used PicMonkey for so many years now that it's kind of like what they say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, that's kind of where my brain is. I have so many things going on that I'm just going to keep it simple, and I'm just going to stay with the program that I go with. I know a lot of people love the Canva program, but my brain just doesn't work there. Okay, so on with our cards. So like I said, today we're going to be making the 3 cards. Now, these cards are my cards that are going to be free with purchase. So when you spend $35 or more in my online store through this week, so it's from today through the 26th, which is Sunday, I will send you the pre-cut cardstock, any designer series paper that I use, any of the die cut images, anything that I use aside from the stamp set or bundle, whatever I am featuring for the week, which again, Woodland Scenery is what I'm featuring. I do have some extra dies that I will be bringing in and showing you, but those will already be pre-cut for you. So then all you have to do is have this stamp set and the ink pads and the colors and all that, but you're going to get all the paper, you're going to get all the things that you need to create these beautiful cards. Now, I do not supply you guys with the embellishments that I use, but I will give you the ribbon that I use because it's easier to ship that way. So again, I put a lot of work into these cards to send these to you guys. So I pay for the shipping, I pay for the supplies. It's kind of my thank you for you coming into my store and placing an order with me, that I send these kits out to you. That way, they're already designed. They're already something that all you're going to do is pull the paper out. They're going to be individually put into each envelope for each card. All you have to do is pull your supplies out, stamp your stuff, put everything together as I'm going to show you guys here, and it's going to be, you know, one and done. You're going to have cards. I'm also going to supply you guys with the envelopes. So all you have to do is slap a stamp on there and send those out the door to be mailed to your recipient. Okay. So let me show you guys what else I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using the branching out dies. I love the little label shapes of these. So we're going to be using some of those. And then I'm also bringing in the deckled circles dies. We're going to be using the 6th die. So if you count from the bottom and go up, which I'll tell you guys again, which die we're going to be using. And then I'm going to be using, this is an old retired set, and so is this, but our embossing folder. This is called the Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder. So know that I will already pre-emboss your piece of paper for your card kit. So it comes already done for you, just in case you don't have this. And that way the card will look as intended. Okay. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and get started here. I'm so excited to share this card with you guys, with these cards with you guys. I created these last week and then was like, no, I'm going to take some time off with the hubs. And then I've been sitting there. I keep looking at the cards. I'm like, oh my gosh, is it Monday yet? Is it Monday yet? I can't wait to share these cards with you guys. So starting out, we have a piece of cherry cobbler. This is my card base. This is 8.5 by 5.5. We are going to score this at 4.25. So I'm going to line that up on my 4.25. I'm going to use my light gray blade, which is the scoring blade. Give that a couple of good scores there. And then we're going to put the bump on the inside and the valley on the outside. And we're going to go ahead and give this a nice crisp crease there. And we're going to set that aside. Our next piece that we need, I have brought in, this is a returning favorite. This is called the Regal Distressed Patterns Specialty Paper. Now this looks like this. You've got the gold foiling in there. It comes with, how many pieces does this come with? This comes with 6 pieces. So there's 3 different patterns. You're gonna get 2 each. What did I say? 6. Yeah, you're gonna get 2 each of the 3 patterns. Just so you know. So you've got the white, the red, and the little leaf with the foil there. So that's what I used with this. Another fun thing you guys can do with this paper, since it's white with the gold foiling lines, you could take your blending brush and you can make this whatever color you want. You can make an ombre effect of taking your your ink and putting it on there, putting it heavy on one end, and then slowly start brushing that out to make it lighter. It makes a really pretty ombre effect as well. So this is 4 by 5.25. Then we have, now these 2 pieces are for the inside of our card, so we're going to set that aside. Then I've got 2 pieces here. This is, I believe it's 4 1/8, 3 1/8 by 4 1/8, and then this is 3 by 4, our piece of white. This is cherry cobbler. Now this is going to go right on top of that, so it's just going to have that little pretty border around that that's going to lay in the center. But we are going to actually come in and do some stamping on this. I'm also going to be bringing in some of the Early Espresso and Old Olive linen thread. I'm going to use the Early Espresso thread for this. So this card here, I'm calling this the Cozy Cabin card. So when you go over my blog tomorrow to look at the dimensions, because they're all going to be listed on my blog, this first card is called the Cozy Cabin because it really reminds me of a cozy cabin that you can go to. And when you see the colors, you're going to know why I called it that. Okay, so let's see. We're going to need some Early Espresso. We're going to need some pecan pie. We're going to need cherry cobbler. We also need some smoky slate. What else did I choose? Oh, and then I just need my black. This is my memento. So I know this says the white Stampin' Up pad, the craft pad, but I actually have taken, this is a white craft pad, but I've actually taken my memento ink and I have flooded my ink pad with it. And that is what I use for my memento ink now. That's why I have this little memento tag up here. I've cut that right off of the little refill and stuck it right on here so I know what it is. And then I took back here on the back, there was just a little strip here that had solid. It didn't have any name on it or whatever. I just stuck that there. So then I know when this is sitting on my shelf, I have one that says white and then I have a solid black. So I know that this is my solid black and this is my actual craft white pad here. So I'm going to set those aside because that's what we're going to start stamping with. So let's go ahead and start. We're also going to be using some of the, oh, where is it now? Oh, there it is. Some of my clear embossing powder. And let me grab my little embossing buddy here. So let's go ahead and start. We're going to start with our cabin first. Oh, that's kind of too small for that. Let me grab the next size up. Okay, so let's place our cabin down. And we're gonna do our cabin in some, we're actually going to use, where is it? I need, where did I put it? Oh, there it is. I'm also going to be using some Pool Party as well. And we're gonna use one of our blending brushes. And then I have a blending brush for my pecan pie as well. So we're gonna use those in just a minute here. So let's go ahead and grab our cherry cobbler. Let's stamp our cozy little cabin here. Our cabin's gonna kind of go right over here, kind of off-centered a little bit, right like so. A dream cabin. And then our next colors we're going to need is we're going to need early espresso and pecan pie. So let me grab out my, let's get a bigger block here because this one tree has 3 trees. And then this next one is a single tree. So using the pecan first, I'm going to do my set of 3 trees, and I'm going to place this kind of lining it up with the 3 little lines from the cabin. And the reason why I've got a scrap here is because this is going to flow off of the side of my paper. Okay, then I'm going to come over here, kind of tuck this in, and we're going to do 3 more right here. And let's move, we're going to put that there. We're going to take the single one and we're going to bring a single one kind of, we're going to go a little bit lower and stamp it right there. And then if we take a little scrap, so I've just got, let me pull a little scrap out of here. I've just got a little scrap here. If I take this and I put this on the slant of the roof, lining up right with the roof, I'm going to hold that there. I'm going to then take my single tree, ink it up, and then I'm going to stamp that right on that roof. So look, it looks like it's back behind. So we see kind of that forest going on behind the cabin. So that's how you get kind of that, I guess, 2 image where you, but otherwise, if I was to stamp this straight on here, you're going to see it on top of my cabin, and I don't want to see that. So I want to kind of black out that cabin so it looks like it's 3D and sitting behind it. That's how that's done. Okay, now I'm going to take my early espresso. Let me grab my cleaner here really quick. Spray this off. Ooh, I love the smell. Oh my gosh. If you guys own the Stampin' Mist, the cleaner for the stamps, oh, it smells heavenly. Okay, so now we're going to come into early espresso, and I'm going to stamp this right in the center of these 2, just right on top of it. And then I'm going to do another one. I think I'm going to go in between these 2 trees, right like so. just to kind of add a little bit more depth in these trees. And then again, I can bring this over here and cover that up. And I'm going to stamp this one a little bit lower, but where it's not going to like touch the house. So that's going to be there. So we're done with that one. Let's grab our smoky slate. Move my scrap now. And I need the little smokestack here. And there's like a little round edge to the top of it and then a little opening down at the bottom, so you know how that's going to kind of fit in to your chimney there. I'm just going to do it just like that. So that looks like that's billowing out of the chimney. Okay. Then I have, with my black ink, I've got this little bear. So as you can see the images here, I've got a bear right here and I've got a deer, but we're going to use the bear on this card. So it being the Woodland Scenery, that's exactly what we're doing with this set, is we are creating a fantastic little scenery of the cabin in the woods. Okay, I'm going to take this bear and I'm going to place him right over here. Now he's a black bear, so that's him. Now I'm going to turn this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to grab my, before I do that, I'm going to grab my, this is Lemon Lolly, and I'm actually going to grab Pecan Pie as well. And I'm grabbing those both in the light. So with this, I'm going to just come in here and I want that soft glow of like there is light inside of that window. Now, it is whited out now because we just have stamped that in the cherry cobbler, but this is like a window eave right here that I'm just going to take my pecan and kind of fill the white spot in, and I'm also going to do it around the door just to give it more of that more realistic look. Now you can go as far, and let me hold this up a little bit more so you guys can see it a little bit better. See how these white spots, if you wanted to go in there and color that in, you can absolutely do that. I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it just as it is. Now with those blending brushes that I had just grabbed, I'm going to use the Pool Party. Actually, what I'm going to do first, before I do that, no, I'm going to wait. I was going to do my snowflakes first, but I'm going to wait. I am going to grab this little block and mount those on there just so I don't forget. So you've got a stamp with 3 little snowflakes. We're going to use those. So what we need to do with our Pool Party is just get a little bit of ink. Now I just went very, very lightly in there, and then I'm going to come over here and kind of get some of that swirliness off because I don't want any creases on there. I'm going to now take this and just very, very lightly create like a swirling sky. Now I know, am I going over this image? Absolutely, because I'm not worried about this color being dark enough to really cause a problem with what I've already stamped. It's so light that it's just going to give a little bit of that sky look that I'm looking for. And you guys on camera, you may not even really see this. But trust me, it's doing it. See how you can see the white down here and just a little touch of that sky up there. Now I can go a little bit heavier up top here since I definitely know that that's just white. Okay, there's that. Then I am going to take the other one and I'm going to grab the pecan pie. Just grabbing just a little bit of ink. See these swirls? That's what I don't want happening on my card. So that's why I'm just going to rub a little bit of that off to get all these harsh little brush marks off of there, because I just want this lightly to go on the ground so it looks like, you know, kind of some dirt. And then we're going to do some Wink of Stella on this, so then it will actually look like it's got some little snow caps on the ground. You could do this in green, like say it's a forest ground. You could do, you know, some soft sea foam. Okay, that works for me. Just very subtle. Now using my, because I just applied ink to this, it is going to be a little wet with that ink. I really kind of want to give that a couple of seconds to dry. So while I am letting that dry, I'm going to actually adhere. I'm going to adhere my designer series paper. Look, I've got a little dimensional backing stuck to my arm. Okay, there's that. Isn't that pretty? That gold foiling with that cherry cobbler backing. Okay, now we should be good to go ahead and take this, and I'm just going to cover that kind of all over that, because I really don't want, especially to the cabin, I don't want any of that embossing powder sticking to my cabin. I'm going to bring this in. I'm going to grab my Versamark. Let's put the cap on the glue and just apply some of these little snowflakes. Now, if you kind of tilt your paper, you can kind of see the glossy of where that ink is actually being applied. So if you want to know if you've missed a spot, just kind of turn your paper and you'll see where that's actually been stuck down. So now I am using the clear embossing powder. So some people might be asking, why would you use clear? You can't see it then. Because I don't want like it to really be seen. I just want it to have a little bit of like wet snowflake look in the background, because I don't want to take away from my image. And you'll see as soon as I get this heated up here, because right now it's just powder. But as soon as I hit some heat on this, you're going to see that glitter in it, but you're going to see kind of a glimmer. I guess that's a better word. So let's get our heat tool going here. And you may not really see much happening, but I'll hold it up as soon as I'm done and you'll see it. Now, if you don't have the Versamark or the embossing powder, again, it's a great time to add those things to that starter kit and get these added to your crafting supplies along with this heat tool. And I know some people have asked the question, like, can I use a hair dryer? And the answer is no, you cannot. I mean, you can, but you're not going to get the results. A hair dryer is much stronger. It does not get the reach the temperatures that you're going to need to melt this embossing powder. Now, if I tip that a little bit, you're going to see, let me see if I can see it. See how, okay, there you can see it. See how you can see the gloss of that? That is what I was trying to achieve. To just get a little bit of that snow look coming down. Now I am going to grab my Wink of Stella. We're going to use that in just a second. I do want to get this adhered onto my little red piece, or cherry cobbler piece, not red. Oh, Bonnie, I'm glad to see you came over to YouTube. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Cheryl. Hello, Kimberly. Welcome, welcome. Yes, it does look like a winter sky, right? Oh, I love it. And it's subtle. It's not a lot of craziness. Okay, I think I missed something because now I've got to go back up and read. It said, I had someone leave me a Post-it note last week on my desk that said I quit. Oh, no. I'm assuming that was at work, not with Stampin' Up, right? Yeah, I'm glad you came over here, Bonnie. We communicate, you know, through the chat here, and it just kind of gives us all kind of a opportunity to, you know, say hi to each other and answer each other's questions, because I can't sit there and stare at, you know, these platforms. So sometimes I miss things. Oh, I do see that we have Margaret over on Facebook. She said she is from North Carolina. Welcome in. So see, every time when I pop up, sometimes I can see what's going on. Now, what I'm going to do with my Wink of Stella pen, I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to brush just a little bit of this over the ground, just to add, again, some of that shimmer on there. And I'm going to go along the ground here. Now, do know that your Wink of Stella, don't stay on an inked, like using an ink pad, don't stay on that color for too long, because it will make that color bleed, just so you're aware. So if you're like, my colors are coming through, this will cause that to happen. So do be careful with that. And then I'm going to go across that little window there, because I think we want some shimmer come through, looking like the shining of the light. Let's see if I can get a good view of that Wink of Stella. There you go. You can see it on there now. Okay, so that is what we're doing. For that, I'm going to actually come in with some of that early espresso. Now, see how this is kind of curled up here? If I take my bone folder and I just pull that, you know how you kind of do that with ribbon when you want to make the curls? Now, we're doing the opposite here with this. We're kind of taking the curls away. I'm going to wrap this twice, just like so, and then grab my, sorry for the arm, I'm going to grab and cut this off, and then tie a bow up here. Yeah, nothing like somebody leaving you a note telling you that they quit. That sucks. That's when I go back to my old school brain and I'm like, nope, that doesn't work for me. Be you and come to me like a human being and tell me that you quit. Like, it is what it is. I can't make you not quit, but at least have the decency to just tell me. But, I mean, again, things are different nowadays. I guess, you know, people don't want to hear judgment or whatever, but everybody's got a different circumstance. But back in the day, it was always that you had to give like a 2-week notice. And maybe they did do that for you. I'm kind of prejudging right now, which is not fair. Okay, there's our bow. I'm getting a little too crazy on that bow there. A little perfectionist. Okay, so now we're going to take that, and I actually want to slide that over a little bit. I think that's just a little bit too much toward my bear. I want that bear to be able to be seen, so we're going to move that over. There we go, that's better. Yep. And then we're going to take some of our dimensionals. Now I might need to go grab another pack of dimensionals because I know I don't have many going on in here because I did use them yesterday and I forgot to grab the rest of them. Oh no, we'll use this. We've got some ends here, so I like to be frugal with my dimensionals, and I use all the edging because why not? It's still usable, so use it. Okay, that sheet's gone. I even have the black dimensionals too, so I can use the edges of that because this is dark enough that you're not going to see that anyways. Okay, and let's do one in the center here. Okay, we're going to place this right in the center of this, watching all my sides. Now the good thing is we are using some grid paper here, so it kind of helps out to see your edging and follow those lines. Okay, now we do have, right now we are in a, as demonstrators, we are in a pre-order time frame that we are ordering things from the new online exclusives that will not be available to the public until November. And I snatched up these little, they're called the Earthy matte dots. These actually go with an upcoming suite collection that's going to be available. Now, again, if you sign up for that starter kit, you're going to get early access because you're signing up as a demonstrator. You're now going to get access to add some of these pre-order items into your starter kit. So you're not able to see these right now as a customer, but once you go in there and you start signing in and to join the team and to start your starter kit, you're going to see product open up for you that you can start adding items in there that you're like, wait a minute, I've never seen that. That's why, because they're part of a pre-order right now that you can add those to your cart and you can have those before anybody else does. I mean, as far as general public wise. So these, the colors in these I thought worked perfect for this set that I'm using. Now this has got your cherry cobbler, it's got your early espresso, pecan pie, and some Lost Lagoon. Now I'm not using Lost Lagoon, but I do have a card that we're going to be using the blues on it. That would, I mean, actually when I hold it up to it, it actually looks really good. Let me show you guys. I forgot to show you guys a sneak peek of all the cards. So here's card, the first card. Then we're going to be making this one. And then we're going to be making this one. So see how that, even though it says it's Lost Lagoon, it really goes good with this blue here. So we might just go ahead and use those. I was thinking we should do some of the either early espresso, but look how good those colors go on this. It's almost like this was meant to go with this card. So I'm going to put, let's do some over on the edges. I'm going to use a big one and a little one over here. And then I'm going to bring a big one right up here to the top of that, up by that bow. Okay, so now let's add the inside to this. So what I did was I grabbed a 5 1/4 by 4 piece of white. And then I grabbed another little strip of this designer series paper, which is a 1/2 inch by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to adhere that along the bottom. Now, this set does not have any sentiments in it, but I will tell you guys that if you have looked at the branching out, it really has some beautiful sentiments in with this. And we are going to be using that branching out die set. So if you've already got this kit, just know that you've got some fabulous sentiments in there that would coordinate well with this. I'm not going to use any sentiments in this because I want you guys to be able to use whatever sentiments you want, and you guys get the idea of that. I'm just showing you guys more of this scenery card set or stamp set. So if you haven't looked at it, it's very reasonably priced. And again, it's just a single stamp set. So you know you can still make beautiful cards. You can write a sentiment in here. You don't have to have a stamped sentiment. So just know that that's always an option. I'm going to come back in with my pecan and that set of 3 stamps. Let me grab my cushion here. And I'm going to stamp this right above that designer series paper, just like so. And again, grabbing the early espresso and the single tree after sticking my finger in it. And I'm just going to place that right over, well, I'm going to go in between here, just like so. Then we've got that. We can actually stamp our bear. Nah, I don't want the bear. I think I'm going to call that good, actually. I'm going to leave it alone. Now, you could do trees all the way across if you wanted, and then do a couple of the early espresso ones just kind of randomly in there. That would be really pretty. You could come back in and do some more snowflakes. You know what I'm actually going to do? That gave me an idea. I'm going to take the pool party, because we've got the pool party on the sky here. I'm going to just take some of these, and I'm going to do 3 of them, just like that. Just so I've got some snowflakes going on in that as well. So that gives us more of that wintry look. Now that's going to get adhered right into the inside of our card. And there is the inside, and there is the cover. So very, very beautiful scene from that. All right, let's go to our next one. So this one, card number 2, is going to be using the early espresso card base. There's my inside pieces. I'm going to set those aside. Let's put the glue on this for now, or the lid on that for now. I need to grab my trimmer again so we can score our card base here. Again, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. We're going to score this at 4 1/4. So what did you guys have for dinner tonight? I wound up, normally Friday nights, or Friday, jeez. Normally Mondays are my husband's day because I'm out here doing this. Normally he does the cooking on Mondays, but I decided it has been kind of that stew weather. So I went ahead and got the crock pot going, and I did some stew meat along with some carrots, potatoes, a can of brown gravy, and some onions, and decided that we were going to have stew for dinner tonight. So that is what they are in there having. And it's just easy. Then he doesn't have to worry about it tonight, and I'll make him cook some other day this week. He will have to cook. Okay, I forgot to tell you guys that I am going to be using this embossing folder here. This is called the Gathering Leaves embossing folder for this card. As you can see, I do have the embossing in the background. I forgot about that. So I am placing this landscape style in here with my leaves running vertical. So let me run this through. Now, I do want you guys to know that on the pamphlet, when you purchase this, or maybe you already have it, just so you're aware that this does not say 3D embossing folder anywhere on there, but I promise you this is a 3D embossing folder. It is thick and it will not run through your machine with the other setting. You have to use the specialty plate with this. I learned that kind of the hard way. So it must have just been an error, or maybe they're not adding that to them anymore, because I don't know if they're only going to specifically make 3D embossing folder. I don't know, but I just want you guys to be aware of it if you have that folder. So we're going to go ahead and adhere that right to our card base here. So see the leaves on there? Isn't that cool? Okay, there's that. Now this is where we're going to be using the branching out dies here. We're going to actually need some of the earthen toned metallic paper. Now this comes in a 2-pack of 2 12 by 12 sheets of this. We're going to actually use the third. Let me make sure I'm telling you guys the right one. We're going to use the third one. So starting in the inside, we're going to count out 3. We're going to use that to die cut this. So let me do that really quick. So I have a bigger scrap here of that earthen tone because I'm going to be die cutting some of the acorns too, but I also want to show you, if you want to be, again, being frugal with my product, I'm going to show you guys another way of kind of utilizing your product. So I could use this little leftover piece to cut this, but I'm going to actually show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut right out of the center of this label piece that I just used, because we're going to actually use the second die and we're going to cut it from a piece of basic beige. And I forgot to tell you that this piece here is 4 by 5 1/4. The one that I did the embossing on, that is also in basic beige. So let me cut this one. All these measurements, if it's, you know, one of those things that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't remember what she's saying, or if I'm screwing anything up, they will be over on my blog tomorrow. So you can go over there, pinkbarnstamper.com, and you can see all the measurements there, along with some still photos. This video will be attached to that as well. Okay, so why I'm saying that you can cut these from this is because, look, this is going to go over that. You're not going to see this center anyways, so why not use our little acorn, or not acorns, but pine cones, and cut those directly from that. So I'm going to cut right out of the center of this. I'm going to cut 3 pine cones. And I'm going to show you exactly what I'm saying that nobody's going to know. Have you guys ever heard that little meme where they'll do like a video and then it's got like a little voiceover and it says, nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know. They're never gonna know. Well, that's what this kind of reminds me of. Because the only person that's gonna know about it is you and me. When you give this card, they're not gonna have any idea. Okay, so that's also the little pine cone from our branching out. We're also going to be using this, the little pine bough piece as well. That's why we have a scrap of early espresso. So I know that looks really ugly. I feel you, but we're gonna actually put that on there and see. Nobody's gonna know but you. Okay, but we're gonna do some stamping on this, so that's why I'm not gonna adhere that to that yet. I am gonna set my little pine cones aside so I don't lose those. I'm going to take my scrap of early espresso and I am going to cut out 2 of my little pine boughs here, or whatever this little branch is called. You call it what you want. So you will be getting all of these branching out pieces already pre-cut, because I don't expect you to have that also in this kit. Okay, now I've got a hitchhiker here. He doesn't want to come out of my die. So we need to make sure we use our take your pick tool and get him out of there. Okay, so there's one of those. Okay, and it looks like I've got another hitchhiker here. So we're gonna need to get that out of there. Okay. Oh, I was just thinking, you guys are probably thinking, well, I thought you said you turned the air conditioning off. I did. This in here in this room, because you guys can probably hear it going, is a mini split and it just stays on forever. It actually is not pushing out air conditioned air. It just pushes whatever the temperature of the air is outside. It just keeps running. You can actually turn it off, but I actually like having, because of the wood in here, I like having the air flow through. Not that we've had much moisture lately, but it just keeps it kind of from being musty. I guess you would say, but it does smell. That's why Mom loves coming over here and coming into the barn, because she's like, I come over here to just enjoy the smell of your barn. I'm like, all right, you do you. Okay, so then what I'm going to do, and I can't remember what color I used. I think that almost looks like, I can't remember what color I used right here, because I don't think it's pecan. Did I use, no? I almost think that's crumb cake. Unless I used basic beige. I don't know. Let's try it. We're gonna just go for it. Let's try. I don't think I used basic beige. I don't. But it doesn't look brown enough that I used, shoot. Again, I created these last week. You know what? I'm going to use crumb cake, because I know I did not use, I know I didn't use basic beige. So we're going to just try it. If it's not right, then it's not right. But I'm hoping. Let's keep our fingers crossed. It doesn't really matter. See, even looking at this, that does not look like that, but oh well. So we're gonna go with our crumb cake here, and I'm just going to stamp this right in the center. Oops, hold on. I almost screwed up. I need my cushion. more cushion for the pushing. That was naughty. It works. I definitely don't think it is that color, but I don't know what color I use, so we're just gonna say that we use crumb cake. It works. All right, now we are going to take our sets of trees, and I need to clean those. And we're gonna grab Early Espresso. And we're gonna stamp a set on this side of the cabin and a set on this side of the cabin, just like so. Okay, and let's not stick our fingers all in the ink. And then taking, again, my brush here, and I'm gonna grab some of that Pool Party. And I know this might be counterintuitive because normally the sky would be your color, but I just thought this blue looked really pretty on this basic beige. So I'm going to take my ink and I'm just going to put this as if we've got some, you know, bluish, shimmery, you know, like when you look at snow from the sun hitting it, how it kind of has that bluish shimmer to it. We're going to go ahead and take this and rub that on there just like that. And I think it's pretty, honestly. I think it works. Okay. Then put that away. I'm going to take, let's not lose our pine cones. I'm going to take my little bag of powder here and I'm going to run this over here again. Kind of heavy. Patting it down. And we need to clean this because the last time I used it, I did use Pool Party on there for the inside of our last card. So we don't want any color to it. I'm going to take Versamark and we're going to do snow, but this time we are going to use white embossing powder. Now this white embossing powder pops on this basic beige. So I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to take this little snowflake, and I've got like a hair on my eye. Ooh. And we're just going to stamp this kind of thick and kind of heavy. Like it's really coming down. That's what we're going to say. On this card, we definitely have some snow action. Okay, let me see. We're going to go up here in this corner and we're going to go down here. Let's go right up here. Okay. Let's grab our spoon, our white embossing powder. And I'm going to hold the bottom of this because we're going to kind of just let this flow down the top. Tap, tap. Now see how that powder stuck to my cabin? I even used a good amount of that embossing powder. I mean that powder bag. So that ink was not dry. I'm going to use a little brush here and I'm just going to go down the edges. If you've ever had this happen, it's frustrating because you're like, hey, you don't belong there. But it happens to all of us. And I don't mind if there's a little bit because it's snow, right? That's kind of the effect that we're going for. So it does look like, you know, if there's a little bit of powder on your cabin, hey, we have a little dusting of snow. It's not the end of the world. It doesn't ruin anything. Okay, so now we're going to take this, again, grab my heat tool. And see how those snowflakes almost like come alive on this basic beige? Ooh, it's getting warm. Okay. So there are those snowflakes. And isn't that gorgeous on there? Like I said, they actually kind of like pop on that basic beige. Okay. Ooh, that's what I forgot. I forgot my fuel. We need a little fuel while we're crafting here. My favorite. It's the best time of year when candy corns come out. Okay, we're going to adhere that down. Now, knowing that I have a couple of little things cut out of the center, I'm just going to adhere this around the edge. Absolutely no two cards are alike, right? Oh my gosh, she left at lunch and she just like never came back. That's weird. So no explanation why she left, no nothing. Yes. Kimberly answered, Bonnie, if you want to stay active as a demonstrator and keep your discount, Bonnie must have asked a question. If I join, do I need to buy more supplies in a certain time? We do have, actually, you know what? I will message you and give you all of the details. But yes, in order to stay active, you have to spend $300 in a quarter. So knowing you, Bonnie, you would have no problem. But you're going to get a discount on that. So you're not going to pay full price. But yes, so in a 3-month period, you have to spend $300. So you kind of add that up, that's $100 a month. And that's kind of easy for a lot of us. And I know you like to craft, so I don't think you would have a problem, but you would definitely be getting your discount on the product that you're buying. And because you do like to, you know, buy our craft supplies, I think you would be a great candidate, Bonnie. And like I said, you're going to see when you hit that join button and you start building your starter kit, you're going to see new product that you've not seen yet because it isn't available to the general public. Okay, so now that that's done, we're going to take some dimensionals. And again, you're not going to see this because we're going to pop this up. And I'm not trying to like call you out, so please don't think that I'm like saying, you know. But I do know that you like our Stampin' Up stuff, and you would be a great candidate for this. And like I was explaining, that a lot of people get kind of scared because they think, well, I don't want to be a salesperson. You don't. You don't have to sell anything. You can simply use that discount just to buy your own products, which is, like I said, probably more than 95% of people who are demonstrators simply use it as for the discount, not to start a business, not to do anything more with it. But just know that if anybody else in your family, if your, you know, your kids or your, if you've got in-law or like daughter-in-laws, you know, that love to craft with you, you will now get some catalogs that you can share with them. And they can now become your customer. They can shop through you, and you will then get the benefits of that as well. I mean, it's not a huge benefit, but nonetheless, it's still a benefit. And I was talking and I adhered this down there way too soon. Don't mind me. We're going to just rip this up. Now again, we're not going to see that, but we do need to take these off now. So don't mind what I just did. Okay. So what I need to do is I actually need to bring these in, and I need to adhere these down first. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here. But here's the cool thing, Bonnie, I will be completely transparent with you. If you don't stay active and you don't want to keep it up and you just want to get this starter kit, there is going to never be any pressure from any of us to try to make you stay a demonstrator. A lot of people will only buy the starter kit one time and never buy it again. Or we have people who buy the starter kit and then in that 3-month period, they'll never buy anything and they'll fall off from being an active demonstrator and they'll turn around and buy another starter kit. There's tons of people who do that. So, and because Stampin' Up! Allows you to do that, obviously there's no judgment there because they allow that. So some people just continuously buy, and I do have some people on my team that just continuously buy that starter kit. And for 3 months, sometimes they'll buy a few things here and there, but not enough to keep the 3-month, running. Then they'll just do the starter kit again. So again, there is never any judgment from any of us. It's just a great way to save on the products that you love to use and play with. Okay, so now I'm going to put the dimensionals on the back of this since I kind of jumped the gun. But as you can see, I just kind of played with that and manipulated those off of there. Did I tear a little bit of this? Yes, but it's going to be back underneath here. So just know that everything is fixable. And if not, you know what? It's homemade, so none of us are perfect. And if you are, then you're a better person than I am. It's kind of funny. I was just having that conversation with one of my teammates because we were talking about some of the things that, like, our children, for instance, kind of hold over our heads. Things that we have done as parents that, we can't change. And we definitely, if you woulda, coulda, shoulda. Like, as being a parent and being younger, you don't always do everything perfect. And you know what? Give yourself some grace for that. Don't let your kids hold that over your head. Like she has, and I can completely sympathize with her because my daughter doesn't talk to me either. But hers has been going on for quite a few years. And I knew her kids. I grew up with her kids. But like I told her, I said, you know what? My mom is my best friend. I would never, ever, ever hold anything over my mom's head. Because as being a parent, I understand that we're not perfect. I understand that we all have flaws. But we've done, we tried doing the best that we could. And especially our oldest kids, they kind of are our test dummies. And I hate to say that, but you always kind of learn with your oldest child, because they're your first, what to do and what not to do. And again, does that suck? Yes, it does. It sucks for them, but it's just the way it is. So I can look back and I can, sympathize with her. And that's what I told her. I said, yeah, my oldest kid doesn't talk to me either. And I mean, I don't really know why she doesn't talk to me, so I can't even ask the question. But like I told her, I said, but I can't keep hanging on to it. I have learned to let it go, and I don't let it bother me anymore. And if she ever wants to have a relationship with me, then that's something she's got to figure out. And that's what because I guess she had, you know, written her daughter a letter, and now her daughter refuses to read it. And I said, I didn't write my daughter a letter, but I definitely sent her texts, and I apologized for, I don't even know what I apologized for, because like I told her, I don't know what I've done wrong. So you can't hold something against somebody that they don't know that they haven't done. And so that's what I was explaining to her. I said, you know, nobody's perfect. And as a parent, we try our best. So that's what I told her. I said, at the end of the day, you need to know that whatever she's hanging on to, that's kind of her problem now, because she's an adult. And if people can't adult in their own way, because as an adult, they make their own choices, and they cannot continue to hold their parents accountable for their actions now as adults. So we were kind of having this conversation, and I'm glad we kind of have each other on that, because we both know what we're kind of going through. So, you know, it was just kind of funny that had gotten brought up, because she goes, I'm glad that I have you to craft with, because my daughter doesn't do it. And I go, I feel the same way, because I've always kind of had that dream that my daughter would be my crafting buddy, but it didn't work out that way. So it is what it is. Okay, so here is this card, now that I have, you know, told you guys my TMI, I guess. But hey, you know what? Let me grab, so I could still continue to use these on here, especially, again, coming in with that early espresso, that pecan pie. But before I got these, I had already made these cards, and then these showed up in the mail, and I held them next to them, and I was like, oh my Lord, those are absolutely perfect. But as you can see on my other card, I used these. Now, these are called the streaked dots. Holy Hannah, I absolutely love these streak dots on this card. Something about the, I've showed these before, they almost have like a wood grain in them. They look so good with this rustic card that I'm just going to use them again on this card. I just love them. And because you guys are able to order these streak dots, then there's something that you can actually purchase right now and have them, versus these. Unless you do the starter kit, you can't get your hands on these yet. Unless you're a demonstrator, then you can pre-order these. Okay, so what I'm going to do in the inside of this card, I'm actually going to die cut another one of these little bows, and that's what I have my little early espresso sitting here for. I think I'm actually going to do 2 of them now that I look at that, because I think what I want to do is I want to have them coming off the edges. So oh, you're right. I forgot the N. Good for you. I'm glad you caught that, because I've been having that there for weeks and I've never noticed it. Thank you for pointing that out. Do you guys see that? I'm missing the N after Pink Barn Stamper. But yeah, there's supposed to be an N right there. So if you do email me, make sure you type it right, because I can't. Cheryl, you got my back, lady. Okay, so there's 2 of those. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cut this off like that, and I'm going to cut that one off too. And I'm going to bring this one in right there. I'm going to bring this one in. I might cut that off a little bit more. And then let's grab another one. And we're going to bring that one right there. Okay. So let's go ahead and add these. Okay, and then we'll flip that over, and all these little tails that are hanging off, we can just cut those off. Okay, let's grab our card here. And we're going to add that right to the center. Now I'm going to come in with a little bit more of that Wink of Stella. We're going to add a little bit more shimmer and shine to the front of this card. Okay. So now, where did I put that Wink of Stella? There it is. So now, just to give this a little bit more pop. Oh, see, that works. So Cheryl said that when she goes to pull her pieces off, like I just did underneath here, instead of pulling the whole dimensional off, she just goes ahead and puts like glue on top of the dimensional just to get it to push back down again. So you're not ripping them completely off like I did. Okay, so I'm just taking my Wink of Stella here, and I'm just running that all over the bottom of this. There we go. Oops, that's not the lid for that. Let's get the right lid here. That goes to that. Look at that shimmer. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, I love this card. This makes my heart happy. This card right here. Love it. And you know what? I don't hate that we used the crumb cake. For the life of me, I don't know what color this is. I don't know. I don't know if I use gray granite. I'm baffled. I don't know. Maybe you guys can look at it and tell me. But it's not bad with the crumb cake. All right. So that is card number 2. So let's take a look inside of there. Aren't those so cool? It just really ties that all together. Okay. Card number 3. So this is Misty Moonlight. This is 11 by 4 1/4, and we're going to score this at 5.5. Again, we're going to make sure that our mountain is on the inside and our valley is on the outside. And where did I put my bone folder? There it is. Okay, and there is our card base. Now, we've got 2 of these layers. So we've got our cloud cover, which is our 3 3/4 by 5. And then we've got 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. So on both of those, they're the same. Now one is to go on the inside and the other's to go on the outside. Now this is where that Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder is going to come in. We're going to actually take this and we're going to pop that in there, and I'm going to run that through. It's kind of funny because when I was making this, I have some ornaments that actually kind of look like this scene. I've got a little cabin, a little log cabin, Christmas ornament. I've got a deer. I've got the little trees. I've got a bear. I do my Christmas tree very rustic looking, that country rustic look, if I could use my words correctly. So these cards just so reminded me of, I mean, they're just, I love them. All right, so now we're gonna take, now that we just ran that through, can you guys see the beautiful snow on that? Hello, Peggy. I am going to take that and I'm gonna adhere that to the cloud cover. And we're going to put that right on top of the And Peggy, I am going to call you tomorrow, just so you're aware, because I saw that you had called me. I'll call you back tomorrow if you're available. Okay, now using our scrap of white and starting from the inside, I'm going to count up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is the circle that I'm going to use. And I'm just going to take this and I'm going to go cut that out. So this is why I say these kits are fantastic for you guys, because I provide all of these die cut pieces for you, so you really don't have to worry about buying all the things. Just go in there and buy at least $35 worth of stuff, and maybe you want more of the papers because maybe you do like this card and you want to make more. You can go in there and you can buy the stamp set, and you don't have to have this particular circle. You can use any circle. So let me tell you, it is roughly about 2 3/4 wide. So that's gonna set on the middle there. But before we do that, we're gonna grab this ribbon. And this ribbon is, oh, it is so gorgeous. Look at that. With the little gold loops around the edge, it is just stunning. So we're gonna take a little length of that and we're just gonna wrap it around the center of our little white and cloud cover layer here. That is called, just in case you guys want to purchase that. Now it will come, I will give you a length of this in your kits. This is called the, my language, silver edged ribbon. So I'm going to put that right in the center of this, and I am going to, now this ribbon also goes with a fantastic sweet collection. It is called, I know the stamp set that goes inside of it is called the Peaceful, or Peace on Earth. I think it's called Peaceful something is the whole sweet collection, and it has got the most gorgeous paper. It's the one that has the, I don't even know where it is right now, but it's got this blue, oh, right here, this blues. Oh, golly, I'm in love. If you like blues and you like doves and all that kind of stuff, it is a fantastic set. I'm going to actually be doing a card kit on that too. Okay, that looks pretty straight. So now with this little piece, I'm going to set this aside. I am going to take Misty Moonlight. Where is my Misty Moonlight? That's not it. I could have swore I just found where it is. Jeez Louise. I'm going to take Misty Moonlight. I'm going to take my scrubber here and clean my cabin off and my trees. We're going to use a cloud cover, the light cloud cover Stampin' Spot to, or Stampin' Blends as well, just so you have that. We're gonna take this cabin and I'm gonna stamp this cabin again off center. I'm gonna go about right like so. That is Misty Moonlight, and she is a beautiful blue, almost like a denim. As you can see, it's kind of a denim blue. Then taking the 3 trees, I'm going to use Pecan Pie. And you guys see, were you guys yelling at me? Use your cushion. We're going to grab the trees. And we're going to place the 3 trees on the right of the cabin. And then we're going to take our single tree to the left of the cabin. And we're going to bring it down. Just like that. Now, where did my stamp set go? We're going to grab our deer. Oh, dear. And we're going to grab Early Espresso. We're going to stamp our deer right down here. This scene, this blue, for some reason, when we went to Alaska, when we went up to Fairbanks for my my oldest daughter's dad, his grandmother was having her, I believe it was her 80th birthday. We had gone up there, and she, when we were up there, they were having these big ice sculptures. They were having a contest. And it just seemed like everything was so blue because there were like feet of snow when we went to Fairbanks. It was during winter time. And it was gorgeous. Oh my Lord. I cannot tell you how beautiful it was. But it was very, very cold. And it just had this very blue tint to everything. And they were actually doing this, it's like a lottery, and they do it on the river that runs through there, and people have to put in like a poll on like the day, the time that the ice is gonna break, and then they win. I don't know what the heck they win, but it's like a lottery thing that they do. It's really kind of a cool concept, but us people who live here in the South, we don't know what iced over lakes are like. Okay, now I have my little Stampin' Spot of my cloud cover, because I did purchase the cloud cover stamp pad, but again, it doesn't stay true to its color. So I just have a little Stampin' Spot that I took my ink refill of cloud cover and just filled in there. And I'm going to actually stamp my snow. And I'm gonna be a little heavy with it. We're gonna really snow this up. Okay, that works. And then we're gonna cover that. I'm going to take my cloud cover Stampin' Spot, and this is the light. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give these just a little bit of a shadowing underneath some of the trees and the cabin. Okay, like that. So not real heavy on that cloud cover, but just enough to give it that, you know, frozen kind of look. Now, again, we're going to use these snowflakes. We're going to really snowflake these cards up. We're going to use silver embossing powder this time. I'm really giving it to you guys with the embossing. So we are going to come in here with our bag of powder. Our bag of bones. And we're going to take our Versamark again. And again, just kind of rando. Okay, that's good. Get a little too carried away. Now using the silver, I think I said gold, but I meant silver. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Actually, you know what? I need one more. I need one more right up there. Yep. Looks a little bare in that one spot. Okay, that's better. So using the silver embossing powder on this card, because we've got the silver around the edges of that ribbon, oh, this just makes this pop. So let's heat this silver up. So look at that silver. Oh, isn't that stunning? Now look at that when it all kind of ties together. Right? Woohoo! Hot dog. All right, I'm gonna grab my my cloud cover again, and then I'm gonna use my blue brush here that I use my blues with. And I'm gonna make my hands work. And then I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna rub this right around the edges. Because this would be white on white, I don't want it just the white on there. I want some color around the edge of this. And because these are deckled circles, it really has kind of a neat edge around it that it's kind of nice to make that kind of pop. Then with a little bit of the color that I have on there, I'm just going to kind of take this and rub it around the edges. Kind of gives it kind of a warmer look to it, so it's not just so stark white. Okay, so that is what that's going to look like. Then our inside out for the moment. We're gonna pop this up. And let's do one more in the center. Why not? So yeah, that's what Cheryl was saying, that when you pull that off of there, if these have any like part of the paper that's torn off, if you have to rip it off of your thing, just put some of your glue on the back of those and then they'll re-adhere to your card. So I'm gonna place that right, like, whoops, gotta go this way a little bit. Isn't that gorgeous? And then we're not done with the elevators on this card. We're gonna elevate this even more. We're gonna now elevate the look, I've got them everywhere. Okay, there's that. Now we're going to take that, and because it has such a big border around it, it really helps you to see that misty moonlight on the edges of that card. Isn't that stunning? Oh, it's totally the winter scene that I was going for. And it looks like this is a little bit crooked. There we go. That's better. Okay, and then now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to adhere these two together. And what I thought on this is we do have our hues of blue flowers, but I didn't think flowers were suited for this card, but let me show you those anyways. They actually come with that Peaceful set that I was telling you about that come with the ribbon. Is they come in the cloud cover, the Misty Moonlight, and the Night of Navy. They would be cool because they almost look like a snowflake, but they just weren't doing it for me. You could bring in the blue from this. Even though that's Lost Lagoon, it doesn't look bad with that card. But I decided I'm going to use rhinestones because we've got these little pops of silver. I really want to keep that kind of going on this card. So we'll make the bling just a little bit of a pop as well. So we're going to place that in there. What I want to do is I want to take my early espresso. I'm going to stamp my deer right in that bottom corner. I'm going to take my cloud cover and I'm going to stamp some snow falling, just like so. And then let's grab our rhinestones. Maybe There we go. So I did 5 this time because those are so pretty. I love that. So if you don't have the silver embossing powder, you can buy these. They're a lot more affordable, and just put those on there as if they were your little snowflakes. Put your little rhinestones on there. These come in small, medium, and then large. So you could take the little ones and you could dot those around on there to make your snow. So there is card number 3 in this gorgeous little winter scene. And then I've just put the deer and some snowflakes in the inside just to kind of carry that theme over. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this super adorable rustic set. It is just gorgeous. Like, you cannot go wrong with this set. You are going to have so many like scenes that you're going to play with. And again, use your colors. Like you see, I've used a red here to give it that rustic look, that cozy cabin look. And then this one, I am calling this one the Pine Top Forest, just because you've got the pines in there. So this one is my Pine Top Forest. And this one I have decided to call my Winter Woodland, because it's just a winter wonderland to me, but we're going to call it Winter Woodland. So there are our 3 cards for our Make It Monday for October 20th. So head on over to my online store, shopdannygorola.com, and add this beautiful stamp set to your cart. Don't forget, on the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, with all your qualifying of $75 or more orders, you're going to get free shipping in there, which makes it so worth it to spend over that $75. You're also going to get this kit as well because you have spent over the $35. So this is your kit with purchase. And then I'll send you the cardstock, all these little cut images along with that metallic paper, but you're going to definitely want to grab some of that metallic paper to throw into your shopping cart because it's too pretty to not have. Or if you just want to do that starter kit, go ahead and do that as well. I would love to have you on my team. We've still got, about 11 more days of this fantastic starter kit that is available for you guys. Again, there's the 2 options. You pay $35 and you get to pick $125 of product, or you spend $99 and you get to pick $189 worth of product. So it's your choice of what kind of kit you want to purchase. But either way, you're going to get fantastic product for the amazing price that you're going to pay for it. So I highly, highly recommend you joining my team. There's so much fun to be had. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. It is a win-win for you, and you will then get future discounts on all of your upcoming orders. And so that's fantastic for everybody, right? Who doesn't love a discount? All right, you guys, always create, craft, and spread kindness. Because everybody can use a little bit of kindness in their world, especially with what's going on nowadays. So, all right, you guys, have a fantastic rest of your week. Don't forget to get your mystery stamping cards submitted over in my private group, Pink Barn Stamper Group. And I will see you guys soon. All right, you guys, take care. Bye-bye.